Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Ms. Cook, call to vote.
Vice Mayor Pontieri,
Yes.
Councilmember Gambaro,
Yes.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Yes.
Mayor Norris.
Yes,
The motion passes unanimously.
thank you, ma'am. So we'll have to do 2 more reads on it and be done with it, hopefully.
But that
Yep.
should be pretty quick since we already have a version of the ordinance drafted. So
All
it
right.
shouldn't take us long to get that.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll continue on discussions, city council matters not on the agenda. If there's any further discussion.
I think the vice mayor had other.
I did, okay, I'll go ahead and we'll hit it. So at our previous meeting, there was discussion about the issue of attorney's fees our taxpayers have incurred due to the lawsuit filed against the city by Mayor Norris. During that meeting, I made my position very clear. I did not feel that from a legal standpoint, there was any theory of law, either grounded in contract or grounded in statute, that provided for attorney's fees and costs to the prevailing party, who is the city, in this lawsuit. I did say, however, that I felt that it would be reasonable if we, as council, requested the mayor pay those fees if and only if he had been previously advised by our legal counsel of 2 things. 1, that the mayor had no standing to sue, which is a basic necessity of every lawsuit, and 2, that the appointment was in line with the city charter, laying out the legal analysis that was previously given to city council by our legal team. It was my position, and it still is my position, that if those 2 things occurred, it would be appropriate for the remaining city council members to formally request the mayor at least contribute in some way to the city's attorney's fees and costs. In fact, I feel that as stewards of taxpayer dollars, it's incumbent upon us to try to protect and or recover every penny we can for our residents. To that end, at the last meeting, I asked Mr. Duffy if he had previously advised you, Mayor, of the legal analysis and of the standing issue, and Mr. Duffy confirmed that both he and Mr. Jeremiah Blocker had previously advised you of these issues. I then asked you, Mayor, if you had been advised by them of these issues, and you said no, you had not. Therefore, I believe this council was in a situation where it would have had to either believe you, Mayor, or believe Mr. Duffy, because at that time, we had no proof as to whether that advisement was provided before the mayor filed his lawsuit. Then, Mayor, you brought up the December 3rd meeting where you asked council to give consensus for Mr. Duffy to provide to us a formal legal written opinion regarding the seat 4 appointment. And you essentially faulted this council for not providing consensus for that legal opinion. So, in an effort to make sure I fully understand the entire situation and don't rely on he said, she said, I went back and I listened to the December 3rd meeting. And I also asked for any communications between you, Mayor, and Mr. Duffy and or Mr. Blocker regarding the seat 4 appointment. The punchline is that you were certainly advised back in December of 2024 of the formal legal opinion of our legal counsel regarding our charter and the appointment. Because there have been conflicting recitations of fact between the mayor and Mr. Duffy regarding this situation, I feel more specific details and a history are required. During the December 3rd meeting, Mayor requested consensus for a formal legal opinion from Mr. Duffy regarding the District 4 seat, quote, just for us to be covered. And because, as you stated, Mayor, you felt you'd be, quote, skirting your duties as the mayor if you didn't ask for a legal opinion on the appointment. During that discussion, you also stated that if the city is sued, it is your obligation as the head of the city to make sure everything was done properly. Mr. Duffy told council at that time that he had previously provided a written opinion to the previous council via email, and therefore this present council decided that because a legal opinion had already been provided, both during previous meetings and via email, that any further formal legal opinions were unnecessary. The next day, on Wednesday, December 4th, the mayor requested via email from Mr. Duffy that legal opinion, and the day after that, Thursday, December 5th, Mr. Duffy emailed the legal opinion to the mayor following he emailed the following: the previous legal advisement or opinion that was given to the previous council, and further expoundment on that opinion to help further explain his legal advisement. Notably, he also stated in his email to the mayor that the advice was discussed at length with other attorneys in their law firm, and they were all in agreement that the council's actions were legal and not in violation of the charter. Since that December 3rd meeting, as has now been brought up to all of council's attention, both Mr. Duffy and Mr. Blocker had multiple conversations with you, Mayor, about your lack of standing to sue and the lack of merit to sue. Mr. Blocker recently, last night, wrote a memorandum to this council explaining in grave detail these communications with you. I'll simply cover the high points as I think it's certainly important to the conversation. Mr. Blocker's email, and this is obviously public record, so anybody can request it. I'm only going to go over part of it. It says, I want to provide a written response in order to correct the record from the July 8th City Council meeting. He states in his email that he is writing to correct a misstatement made by Mayor Norris at the previous City Council meeting that he had not been previously provided legal advice regarding his standing to sue and regarding the merits of any lawsuit filed against the city concerning the appointment of Councilman Gambaro, and to help refresh his recollection on the matter. Mr. Blocker then states the following. The facts are that Mayor Norris was given ample legal advice on this matter and chose to ignore it. Below is a summary of the timeline that I recall from our advice to Mayor Norris regarding the appointment of Councilmember Gambaro to the District 4 seat. December 2nd, 2024, meeting with Mayor Mike Norris, City Manager Lauren Johnston, Chief of Staff Jason DeLorenzo, and City Attorney Marcus Duffy were all in attendance. Mayor Norris brought up the appointment of Councilmember Gambaro, District 4 seat, and if the previous City Council followed the charter in appointing Mr. Gambaro. City Attorney Marcus Duffy explained the appointment and told Mayor Norris charter was followed legally. Mayor Norris at the end of the meeting stated that he understood and he was going to leave it alone. December 6, 2024, Attorney Jeremiah Blocker discussed with Mayor Norris via phone the appointment of the District 4 seat and how the charter was not violated. Mr. Blocker advised the mayor that he would not have standing to bring litigation against the city regarding the appointment of the District 4 seat. Also, he advised that the charter was correctly interpreted and following regarding the appointment. December 7th, 2024, Attorney Jeremiah Blocker received a text message from Mayor Norris requesting another phone call to discuss the same matter from the previous day. Again, Mr. Blocker specifically articulated that a lawsuit over this matter filed by the mayor would be frivolous and without standing. He articulated case law and relevant statutes that would bar such an action. Mr. Blocker encouraged the mayor to move from the issue, expressing that multiple attorneys had reviewed this issue and that the council acted legally in this matter. December 9th, 2024, weekly meeting with Mayor Norris, City Manager Lauren Johnston, and City Attorney Marcus Duffy. Mayor Norris brings up the District 4 seat appointment, goes through a charter district PDF document, and explains how he thinks the City Council violated the city charter. City Attorney Duffy explained to him that the City Council did not violate the charter by appointing Councilmember Gambaro. The appointment was done legally and followed the charter under the circumstances. Mayor Norris said he will find someone to bring a lawsuit against the city or pay for a lawsuit. City Attorney Duffy responded by saying if a lawsuit is brought against the city on this item, the city will win. He then thanks us for allowing him to correct the record on this matter. Based on all of this, Mayor, I not only feel you were on numerous occasions advised as to the standing issue and the lack of merit of any potential lawsuit, but I'm also concerned that you've misrepresented to this council and to the public that you were not advised of these things. Additionally, you said back on December 3rd that you wanted a formal legal opinion so that we could better protect the city from being sued. You then received that legal opinion via email and in subsequent conversations with our legal counsel, yet you were the one that ends up suing the city. I understand wanting to protect a citizen's right to choose their representation, but that right exists within the confines of our laws, our Constitution, and in this case, our city charter. We see appointments made by elected officials at all levels of government, from our judges to our local electeds, by the President of the United States, by our governor, and yes, by local governing boards and electeds. The charter is not perfect. We know that, and that's why we are taking steps sooner than the charter calls for to fix its flaws. In the meantime, we have to act within the confines of what our charter provides for, and that's exactly what we did. And it's what the judge found we did in the lawsuit that you filed, that council acted within the confines of the charter. Based on all of this, I do believe our city's legal fees should be paid for, but that would have to be a personal choice of yours, Mayor. This council, pursuant to the charter and the law, has no mechanism to make you do so. The last thing I'll say regarding the city's video feed from the last meeting, I watched that meeting twice, as I do all of our meetings, and there was no editing of anything. That full meeting from start to end was recorded. There's been nothing cut out from it. Those allegations are wholly false. If my stern voice and my demeanor and my advocacy to ensure we are arriving at the right decision for our city and our residents, and safeguarding our residents' tax dollars offends someone, just know that I will always advocate in that manner for what I genuinely feel is right. You may disagree with my position, but my passion and advocacy always comes from a place of just wanting to make sure we do the right thing at the end of the day for our city and for our residents. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for yielding the floor. It is my belief that Mayor Norris's pattern of toxic behavior exhibited through fear and intimidation represents a clear and present danger to the citizens of Palm Coast, as we saw during last year's campaign. Clear and present danger to our city employees and senior staff, which was confirmed through our independent investigation, and the members of this council, as was exhibited last Friday by releasing my private phone number and then admitting guilt and covering his tracks by changing his Facebook post to my city cell phone, but the damage was already done to my family and I. In this same Facebook post, Mayor Norris directly attacked my military record by claiming that my promotion to the rank of Brigadier General was improperly awarded. Mayor Norris stated that my rank was DEI, didn't earn it. In fact, I was nominated by President Trump, someone who clearly is not a supporter of DEI for promotion to the rank of Brigadier General, and this nomination was confirmed by the United States Senate. As a retired U.S. Army officer, Mayor Norris, you are fully aware that this statement is false beyond any measure of doubt, and that this statement was intended to undermine my ability to conduct my duties as a member of this council. Mayor Norris, sir, you have crossed the line. We can no longer sit by and allow your toxic behavior and your actions of fear and intimidation continue. It is for these reasons that I move that this council again censure Mayor Norris for his unsafe behavior, and I ask each of you to join me in signing a letter to the governor formally requesting for his removal from office.
Are you done, sir? You got anything, Mr. Sullivan, real quick?
Not right now, go ahead.
You got anything, Mr. Miller? To go back to you, Vice Mayor, I got that email too, so I went back and I looked. Number one, I would not have been on my schedule for that meeting on the 3rd or the 4th of December, whenever it was. Mr. DeLorenzo wouldn't have been in that meeting. It would have been me, Mr. Duffy, and Ms. Lauren Johnson. So starting his timeline was off. Standing, why would I be asking the attorneys about my standing to sue the city? I'm the mayor. Why would I be asking that? And I'm sure I never would have said I'll find somebody to sue the city. That's crazy. So primarily that Mr. DeLorenzo would not have been in that meeting, and he was not on my schedule as an attendee to that meeting. As far as Mr. Gambaro's thing, when I said DEI, I meant as far as being an elected official of the city. Nothing about you need to stop making things personal, Councilman. I never say anything about your military service. Also, as far as your number, I corrected it. That was out of a personal courtesy because, sir, are we friends? Are you and I friends?
No?
Have we ever had any interaction before I was elected as mayor?
No.
Have you ever called or texted my telephone?
Maybe once to say congratulations for winning the election.
Okay, that's what I'm pointing out. So while I am not a friend of yours, I have no association with you. Why would I use a cell phone number? Why would you be texting the mayor-elect on the night of the election from your personal phone? You should have been doing it from your city phone. So I was under the assumption that that phone that you were using was your city phone, and for that, I corrected a record when I fixed that post. But you engage with me. You're not in my phone. The only phone number I have is that one that was initially listed. So if that was some confusion, but let's go to the city manager. City manager, are the city council members' cell phone numbers readily available on the city website?
I'm not sure, Mayor. I would have to
Anyone
look.
answer that?
The city ones, I believe, are,
Our-
only the city cell phones.
Our city cell phones are not readily available. If you pull up our profiles, our city cell phones are not on there. And I'm almost certain that the ladies upstairs do not give out the city council's city cell phone numbers. But that was a shameful act on that show last Friday. I know you were trying to take a victory lap at my expense and everybody's political posturing for the upcoming election. But stop doing it at my expense, because I've got enough things to deal with. But when you go on a radio show, when the host has on air in the past said that I need a mental evaluation, for one, that's why I won't go on his show anymore. Two, he starts his show off with less trash talk. So you had fun trash talking me, but now you want to play the victim because you really doxed me as the mayor. You doxed me when the host of that show, and you sat there and let that guy put my phone number out there like it was no big deal. And your background, you should know about operational security. And I have never been contacted by David Ayers, Brian McMillan, or Sierra. I have never been contacted by any of those reporters on my city cell phone. It's always come to my personal cell phone. So you guys doxed me by putting my information out there, and probably could have created a denial of service, tying up my phone. I can't sleep with my phone in my bedroom at night because it's going to ring. Somebody's going to call me at 4 o'clock in the morning. So as far as your number is concerned, the only number I had on file for you was the number that was in my phone when you contacted me as the mayor-elect, and I was under the assumption that you were calling me from your business cell, your city cell, because you shouldn't be contacting me at all. I don't have anybody in here's cell phone number except Theresa and David Sullivan, because they're both members of the Republican Executive Committee, and we've had some interactions before. But I don't have Mr. Ty Miller's phone number, and I don't have your personal number in my phone. So you were successful in pushing whatever you're trying to push. I just wish you guys would leave me alone, let me do my job. And, if you want a political posture, whatever you're running for next, you go right ahead. But don't do it at my expense. I come in here, the only time I come in this building is to come into this chamber, do my business, and then I leave. But I have been the target of attack since before I went on vacation in May. And that's fine, I can take it. It's just wearing on my family. But I'm not going anywhere, unless the governor relieves me, and that's solely up to him. But I'm not going to resign, and I'm going to continue to do my job, and I'm going to stand up for the constituents of this city. So you can censure me again if you want to. I don't care. But I was not attacking your military service. You're making it personal, Charlie, not me. I have no problem with your military service.
And that picture didn't say anything?
Say again?
You put an AI photo of me in uniform?
Well, when you go on a radio show and you degrade me and you spend an hour with those schmucks over there talking trash about me, I take it personal. And to start the show, here's the mayor's number. Call him and tell him he's an asshole. So don't play games. Don't play games. All those organizations are all wrapped together. WNZF, Flagler Live, Palm Coast Observer. They're all wrapped up together. They're all the same to me. So you can keep attacking me if you want. It ain't going to get you any votes if you're running for office, but, you do what you got to do. So anything else from the council?
Well, I've got a motion.
City council members?
Yeah, Mayor, so we've gotten completely off of track, which the conversations tend to do. The point was, Mayor, what happened on the radio show is my opinion, is between you and David Ayers. Because Councilman Gambaro was a guest on the show. That's something I think that needs to be taken up privately between the two of you. So I'm not even going to touch on that. My concern is not what happens on a radio show. My concern is what happens on this dais. And what happened on this dais is that you misrepresented, Mayor, that you had not been previously advised on multiple occasions. Mr. Blocker is in the back. If he's willing to, I'd ask that he come to the podium, because you, Mayor, have said that certain things have taken place or have not taken place, and everything that you have said has been contradicted by other people. And it's important that we, as council members up here, that what we talk about with regards to city business is transparent and is accurate. And I don't feel like I'm getting that from you, Mayor. And that's a concern, because as we talk about policy, we need to be able to talk openly and transparently about policy. I don't care what people do in their personal lives, but I care about what happens on this dais. I care about what we do with tax dollars. And your actions have harmed tax dollars. I do not care about your Facebook posts. Do I think it was right to post Councilman Gambaro's personal phone number? Absolutely, I do not. And all of our city cell phones are 386-276 something, 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 something. They all, the last four change. So, you know, I find it hard to believe that you know, there was an assumption that he texted you from his personal cell. That said, I don't know, I'm not you, so I can't think for you or speak for you. But I am concerned about the fact that you have said that you did not receive this legal advice, yet we have our attorney Duffy at the end who said, yes, you have. Jeremiah Blocker sent us a memo laying out in very grave detail the multiple times he told you, A, you don't have standing, B, you lack merit. And then, you know, Mayor, it was supported by Mr. Blocker's memo saying that, you know, you had commented to him, okay, fine, I'm going to drop it. I'm not going to bring it up again. And then at the very next meeting, I think it was the very next day, you even prefaced your conversation that night with Attorney Duffy. I told you I wasn't going to do this, but I have to. So, you know, what you said yourself in that regard supports what Jeremiah Blocker put in this memo. So I got to tell you, Mayor, I believe that you were in fact given legal advice on multiple occasions about the lack of merit and the lack of standing. And again, you know, we can't make you pay these attorneys' fees. We can't make you contribute to them in any way, shape, or form. I would ask, Mayor, though, that you have that you do some reflection. And please stop. You don't need to move forward with this lawsuit any further. You're never going to gain standing. You will never have standing to sue this city for that appointment, ever. In addition to that, we followed the charter. Everybody recognizes the charter is flawed. That's why we're taking steps to fix it. We need to move forward. Continuing onward, filing a motion for rehearing, and then going on with an appeal, that is not the direction in moving this city forward. So I hope you recognize that, and I hope that we can leave this lawsuit and everything that it's cost our taxpayers behind.
All right, thank you. Anything further from the council?
I've got a motion on the floor, Mr. Mayor.
Did you make a motion, or you said we consider it?
No, I did.
Well, restate your motion, please.
It is for these reasons that I move that this council again censure Mayor Norris for his unsafe behavior, and I ask each of you to join me in signing a letter to the governor formally requesting his removal.
Can I ask for clarification on what you mean by unsafe behavior?
Okay, I could go back.
Well, no, I mean, is it the posting of a person?
No, it's overall pattern of behavior from during the campaign, fear and intimidation, the fear and intimidation of our city staff and administration. It was well documented in our investigation. And quite frankly, what happened this past weekend was just, you know, the tipping point. And so that's my motion.
Clarify campaign, Councilman. What campaign are you talking about?
The comments that are well documented on YouTube about, you know, comments that you made towards your opponent's spouse.
Excuse me?
So let's just keep this clean. If you want to have discussion, this motion needs to be second. The motion is as right now. If there is no second, the motion dies.
Second.
We have a second. Discussion? Any further discussion on the, we'll open this up to public comment.
Jeannie Duarte. Actually, I've been watching Mayor Norris for several months here, and I'm really surprised how calm he is. He doesn't blink an eye. He's just very calm. The outbursts are coming from Gambaro. If anybody up here is making me scared, it's Gambaro with his behavior. And it wasn't just last Friday that you were all over the radio. It was yesterday, too. You should be ashamed of yourself. If anyone should be removed, it's going to be you. And if you were following the charter, you wouldn't be sitting there right now. I have it right here in front of me. I got lots and lots of copies right here. And if you really want Mayor Norris to pay for that, then you need to pay for the Lawson investigation. Who gave you the approval to go out and get a Lawson investigation, private investigation? It was private investigation. And also, our acting city manager needs to pay for the botched, SGR, the botched city manager recruitment. You guys pay those up, then you can talk to him. You should be ashamed of yourself. And right here is proof. This is charter. This is charter. If you were following the charter, he would not be here today. You guys know for a fact that you weren't following the charter. And if he got any kind of advice from our city attorney, I wouldn't trust our city attorney's advice. Smile, because that's the truth. I'm so sorry, but, you know, I would expect him to get advice from somebody he would respect, because interpretation is a big deal. He had grounds, he had merits for what he took you guys to court for. And he should have taken you guys to court, not the city, because we paid for it. You guys owe us. You owe us. You owe us, if you think he owes us. Fair is fair. Read it.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I've said this before.
Please state your name for the record, ma'am.
Georgianne Miller, Palm Coast. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I know you guys have hurt feelings. I know you have said things to each other that you should have never said out loud. You need to move forward. Ms. Johnson is doing the best that she can. She's doing 2 jobs right now. And to blame her for the debacle is, we don't know what happened. Somebody said something. We can't blame her. Nobody knows. But she's trying her best. And if she did something wrong, she did something wrong. You guys are just like attacking each other. I don't think you would ever attack your military career. Who can do that? You have a career. Everybody knows. Why would one person attacking your career have you so unraveled? It doesn't make sense. And you guys, I don't think you're friends. I don't think that if you met at a bar, you would be friends. You just don't have the types of personalities to be friends. But you need to work together for this city. And all of this wasting our money, pissing at each other, and just doing, this should have never been seconded. You need to move on. I know that you've got things that you say that he's done wrong, and I'll go back to the very first thing that I said. He has not been indoctrinated, doesn't have the city or business, or I wouldn't say business, but the city background to know this stuff. He's got an attorney that sends stuff to everybody but him. You guys are doing so much behind each other's backs. Just stop. Just stop and think about what you're doing to this town. We've got so many people that are for the mayor, so many people that are for each of the different commissioners. I'm not going to point out one or the other. But they believe in what you were doing. Stop what you're doing. Please just get past it. Accept that there were things that were said or done that should not have been said or done, and start working for the city again. And I really do feel sorry for all of your families if you are getting people calling you in the middle of the night, or that phone numbers were sent out. It's ridiculous. It's childish. You guys need to learn to play in the sandbox together and share each other's toys, not be doing things behind another person's back, not be saying things and then saying, I never said that. There's a lot of misunderstandings here, and I think a lot of it with Mayor Norris is his misunderstanding and not understanding how a lot of things go. And I think that you are holding everything too close to the breast and too personally. We need to move on.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else for public comment? We'll bring it back to the dais. If there's no further discussion.
I just have a point about writing a letter to the governor. You know, I think we need to wait on the response from the ethics complaint. What I would support is supplementing the complaint with the latest incident regarding misrepresentations made in contradiction to evidentiary proof otherwise, because I do think that that is important when we're dealing with electeds who have, specifically regarding city business and city tax dollars, who have misrepresented things. So to me, that's relevant to the job. It's relevant to the collegiality of how we work together up here. I also think there's an issue with posting the personal cell phone number. But I think that when we sent the complaint up to Tallahassee, we allowed the decision-making process to take place regarding, whatever they decide. We put it in their hands. And that was at the advice of Councilman Sullivan. I think that was good advice. So I'd be happy to supplement that, but to take it a step further and write a letter to the governor, Councilman Gambaro, that's so hard for me, because regardless of what has happened, Mayor Norris was elected, and we have to think about the residents that did elect him, regardless of how they feel now, because I've heard people who still support him, and I've heard people who support his loss because of everything that's occurred. I'm struggling with that right now. I will tell you, I'm not ready to vote on that. I just don't know.
Any further discussion? Ms. Cook, call to vote.
Vice Mayor Pontieri,
Come back to me, please.
Councilmember Gambaro,
Yes.
Councilmember Miller. Yes. Councilmember Sullivan,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Pontieri.
Yes.
Mayor Norris.
No.
The motion passes 4-1.
Thank you.